We were talking before the call, a couple of drills that you've been using with a lot of people lately that aren't your more traditional drills, but you've found they've been really good for really practicing the open water, finding that open water stroke. So can you talk about those drills that we were talking about before the call?
Yeah, so there's been a few drills. I want people to get in their lat earlier without losing the reach. So a lot of times to activate something, you need to touch it. So I have people grab their lat and with their left arm and then swim just with their right arm. So as they're reaching, they can feel that reach from the base of their lat to activate early. The other drill I like is, I call it backwards namaste, and you put one hand, or your whole forearm between your thoracic so that you're lifted through the chest, and once again do one arm. The next drill I call fiddle faddle because there's a huge cross connection between your right hand and your left foot through the core. So you put a paddle on your right hand, but you don't put your finger through it. You actually grab over the end, so it's like a monkey punch in the front, and then the fin is on the opposite foot. So as you're driving with the right, that left hip lifts, and then that left leg can go down, so there's a huge cross connection. And then the next drill I like is a tap back drill, and I would notice at nationals and worlds, people get in the warm down pool and they pull through and then tap the water on the other side to open their chest, but it also stabilizes that deep catch in the front, so you're actually angling forward and down as that opposite arm is touching to the opposite side of the body. So that to me has been, it's almost like a reverse catch-up, because a pause is actually front to back, left to right, not both hands flat in front of you. So it's been, those drills have been really great, just working with people, because as soon as they feel it, they can activate it, and then they go, oh, that was so much better.
Yeah, I like that, because for me, I think one of the more difficult things to teach is the final stage of the stroke. So once you've got the fundamentals in place, then it really comes down to finding your rhythm and your tempo and being able to settle into that for a race. And to me, it sounds like those kinds of drills help someone get that sort of timing of the stroke and being able to find that rhythm, a little bit like finding your rhythm when you're dancing. I mean, I'm never going to have that. I haven't got a dancing bone in my body, but yeah, I think maybe if I'd practiced enough sort of tempo or rhythm dancing drills, whatever, it's possible. But yeah, I think being able to have them find that rhythm using those drills, it would be a good way to do it. So I'm going to start using some of them with the lessons that I do, because it's different to what I've sort of taught before.
Well, and there are so many crossovers with other sports. When you watch somebody ski and the top part of their body is silent and their hips get to move, or when they're tangoing and the top part of their body is really stable and solid, but yet their hips get to move. So much we can do from our core, but we also, you don't want somebody looking like they're having a seizure moving all their body. Some of it needs to be set in place, but the drills actually get people, sometimes it doesn't get lost in translation, but people think they're doing something. So by even grabbing the front of their paddle gets them to drive down with their knuckles and use their forearms and their lats earlier.
And one thing that you mentioned earlier was how a salamander swims. And I've heard you mention that before, and like this is, I don't know, 12 months ago or whatever, but I never quite got that. But then, I mean, I've got you on video here, so people who are listening to it can't see. But when you mentioned it before the call, it clicked for me. So what I'm thinking of when it comes to that, how a salamander swims is
So salamanders have short arms, but they stretch through one side of their body, but then to get more reach from that little arm, they hike that opposite hip. So when you look at a salamander, I call it salamander obliques, because they're really stretching through one side, but to get more stretch, they have to lift that other side. So you are kind of moving, and I went through some of even Mike Bobham's videos from the hip-driven freestyle underneath, and you can actually see the sides of the body and the obliques working. And sometimes we think it's all lats, but we really want to even get more core. And how do you activate and get more core? And a lot of times it is from even moving that other side to get more reach on the side that you're working.